everyone, welcome back to Monroe Live. My name's Josh, I'm a Monroe Live intern, and here we are at the Rivian Amazon electric delivery van event. We got to talk with John a little bit, so you'll be hearing more about that a little bit later. But I just wanted to recap a couple of the really interesting points that Aaron and I here heard about. A couple things that I thought were really interesting. So one is the complete design for Amazon. So down to every little detail, they were able to optimize exactly for Amazon. And they're working with the uniforms, the ergonomics of getting in, meeting all Amazon requirements. Very interesting. The other part was that the architecture, overall architecture, based on R1. So R1T, R1S, same battery pack, same front electric drive unit, same steering wheel, same infotainment screen, different software. So just some really interesting points. We'll get more into the details in a little bit. But one thing I was able to confirm a little bit after the fact was, same battery pack. And I was also able to speak a little bit about the Amazon Rivian partnership. And so some interesting points with that were that for now, Rivian is very focused on delivering the 100,000 vehicles specifically for Amazon, and doesn't plan to branch out into consumer market as far as they can say for a little bit. And they weren't able to speak to the price, but I do think that should be one of our curiosities. Is what is their cost of manufacturing one of these, and what is the cost to Amazon? So we were not able to get details on that, but maybe in the future we'll be able to see. I'm here with John.
Hi Josh, nice to meet you.
Great to meet you. So we're here at the Amazon Rivian delivery vehicle event, right?
Yep.
EDV, is that what you guys are calling it?
Yeah, electric delivery vehicle, yeah.
Awesome. So my first question is just a little bit of the background to Amazon Rivian partnership.
Sure.
And so I was curious, so you're on the Rivian side, right?
Correct. That's right, yeah.
And what were some of the driving forces that drove your decision to partner with Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
And what did that dynamic look like?
Yeah, I think some of the decisions around why is perhaps a little less relevant than the how. We started working with them a little over 3 years ago. We used to go out with the drivers. We've done maybe 150 ride-alongs, something like that, because we really wanted to get inside how the drivers were using the product that they had at the time and understand what their pain points were and really take the whole delivery last mile experience back to first principles so that we could then unpack it and say, okay, what can we do different? In some instances, the vans they were driving were different types of vans than we've got here now. So we were very careful to not look at how they were using a wrench and try and design a screwdriver. We had to distill that difference because there are a lot of unique features and characteristics of this product that were really honed around what Amazon needed, what the last mile delivery space needs.
Awesome, yeah, that's really great. So, if I'm not mistaken, this is the 500 model?
This is a 700.
700.
So like a nominal cubic cargo space in the back. It's not exactly 700, but yeah, that sort of idea. And then there's a smaller one, which is a 500, which is launching shortly, which is both shorter and narrower. So it's good for smaller, tighter cities. And in the future, there might be different size ones as well on top of the platform. But we tried to create a modular approach. You can see the panels split up on the side. When we change the width on the 500, we do it sort of at different points down the vehicle. So the 500 is more like the size of a normal large cargo van, and then this is a step above, kind of bridging the gap to those more traditional step-in vans.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so a couple of other of my questions. So I don't know how familiar you are with Monroe, but we do teardowns, right?
Yeah.
And we're actually currently tearing down an R1T. So I'm curious to know, in this van, is there like a rough percentage, or how would you say the technology carryover from R1T, R1S transitions into this type of vehicle?
Yeah, sure, that's a great question. So I don't have the exact percentage split off the top of my head, but as a platform level, there's a lot of similarity. So the battery is the same, but we don't have all the off-road capability that the R1's got, so we don't have that thick bottom casing. We don't have the rear drive unit takeoff, because this is front-wheel drive only. The EDU, the drive unit, is the same, or the control electronics are the same, the software stack is the same, the software platform is the same. So there's a lot of learnings across both. There's obviously very different use cases, and even though we've carried that content across and that architecture across, it's very, very tailored to this space. When you go into the inside of the vehicle, you see some of the hardware, so the center display and the driver display, the steering column stalks and things like that. The steering wheel's a common armature. And in other instances, we've used different parts but from common suppliers. So we lean into our supply base and open up the different platforms to them so that they can get a benefit as well.
Awesome. So you mentioned electric drive unit, EDU.
Yep.
So same as R1T front. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So
slightly different inverter, but otherwise same as the front.
So that means it's a dual motor front wheel drive.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. One other technical question. I saw there's lots of cameras and radar and ultrasonic sensors all across the vehicle.
Yep.
What does that look like on the Rivian side for you guys? Are you developing sort of just basic safety systems, or is there going to be some element of maybe hands-off driving at some point, L2? I know that in the R1T platform, that's something you're developing.
Yeah.
When you're working with Amazon, is that something that they're looking for, or what does that partnership look like? And then maybe speak to some of the safety on this vehicle.
Yeah, so I think again, a lot of it is very distinct around how the drivers are using their vans. This is probably, for the people that are coming to do the delivery work every day, this might be one of the most advanced products they've driven, including their road car. So we're trying to make it as approachable as possible. It's they're a size. It's bigger than a traditional road car or a traditional passenger car, and that's going to take some getting used to as well. So again, we're trying to make sure that the drivers feel as safe and as comfortable as possible. So we've got 360-degree bird's eye surround view. We've got dual lens rear view cameras for long distance and reversing. There's a number of ADAS features on the product, both now at launch and rolling out over the next few months. There's 5 radar on the product. We talked about the ultrasonics. There's a lot of different things, and then on the flip side, there's cameras just for driver safety as well.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. And then just one last question before, if we have a chance to jump in the vehicle and talk about maybe some of the interior things.
Yep.
One thing I was wondering is, in terms of delivery, I know that you're currently in the R1T, R1S ramp, trying to produce as many as possible.
Yep.
Do you have an estimate for? I know there's certain targets for delivery to Amazon. What are the targets for maybe this year and looking forward?
Yeah.
What are your hopes for how many of these vans you're going to deliver?
Well, of course, I'd like to deliver just hundreds of thousands of them, because that means that we're taking hundreds of thousands of gasoline and diesel products off the road. But we're in the hundreds and scaling to the thousands right now. That's the best way to think about it. Obviously, the ramp continues through this year and then into next year and the year beyond. Yeah. We've got on both sides, very ambitious growth thoughts and strategies, and we're just trying to work through what the best fit is for both in the current environment.
Awesome. Yeah. So, do we have a second? Could we jump
sure,
in and maybe talk about some of the interior? Are those possibly radar up there, or are those just bolts?
No, those are cameras, and in the future, so the hardware is present, and we're working through an algorithm to do height warning.
Oh, okay. Because the height of the vehicle for some bridges can be a concern, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a couple of instances where people have sort of taken a wrong turn, and of course you've got to remember about these drivers. They're driving around places that they don't know, in a product that in a vehicle that they're not necessarily used to driving, and there's a lot while they're looking for road signs and they're looking for store names and things like that. So again, it's just around trying to make something that's as approachable and as easy and as comfortable for them to drive as possible, and just not in any way difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Looks like someone has just jumped in, but
yeah, we can find a different one.
Sure.
Yeah, or we can kick these guys out. Let's kick these guys out.
Sure.
This portion of Monroe Live is sponsored by Anker and their 757 portable power station. The 757 is packed full of lithium iron phosphate 26650 cells with a capacity of 1,229 watt hours and a maximum power output of 1,500 watts across the 6 AC outlets, 6 USB ports, and 1 DC car outlet. It can charge up in just over an hour from the wall, 4.5 hours from solar, or a little over 10 hours from a car. The LFP cells are rated at a massive 3,000 charge cycles along with a 5-year warranty, so the power station will likely outlive most items you plug into it. Whether you need to power your life in the backcountry, add a backup battery to your home workstation, or power your tools at a job site, the 757 and similar powerhouse models from Anker have you covered.
I was going to say, one of the things that we've spent a lot of time working on is just the basic ergonomics of the product. So the height of the step, the depth of the step, the height of the second step. the 3 points of contact that the Amazon team require of their drivers to make sure they're getting in and out safely, because it's not just as you sort of sprinted into the van, you've got to do that, quite a few times a day, and in some instances obviously carrying parcels as well. So we'll just try to make it as safe as possible. High grip surfaces, we've got a raised tread to take any water away from the shoe, high grip step edges in a highly visible color. Again, these are all sort of touch points that we work really close with the Amazon team on, just to make sure that we were integrating with the base design of the product and also meeting their needs.
Yeah, I do have to say, when I walked in the first time and now the second time, like, I didn't. There was no hindrance basically. Like, yeah, sure. I just walked in and I think I grabbed the handle. I don't even know. Like, it felt like second nature.
You shouldn't have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So great job with the design there, and obviously the high grip surface.
I mean, you're demonstrating another ergonomic product now. So if you turn and drive, it's quite a normal driving position. Obviously, the seat's got a bunch of height and reach adjustment. The column's got a bunch of height and reach adjustment. But then as you're sitting there, we've got that pedestal for the heel of your foot, so you can be in a comfortable driving position. But then, if you were to swing out and come into what we call this as the dance floor space, into this dance floor, now you see that your knees drop below your hip.
Yeah.
So you're putting less strain on your hip and your knee as a result, because you're already half up. So that was a very deliberate design feature that we added into the vehicle.
Yeah, I see. That's really amazing, actually. Obviously, I don't have a lot of experience, but a lot of these things, like ergonomics wise, I would see hundreds of getting into the vehicle hundreds of times a day, as you're saying. These things do make a big difference, and it seems supernatural.
Yeah.
Or, as in very natural.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, to just I swung in, swung out, like it just felt like second nature, just like getting in.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of connectivity in the vehicle. We spent a lot of time integrating Amazon's last mile delivery and routing app into the product. You can see here it's showing a delivery location and a parcel ID. And the idea is to put it on that center display, making the font super large, so you can see when you're in the back of the van sorting through parcels, you can refer back to this. Just reduces the potential for any missed deliveries.
Yeah.
The other thing that's nice on this vehicle that we spent a lot of time on is the cooled seats. Right, we've got a lot of nice AC there, so we take the cooling direct off the HVAC straight into the seat. So we're heated and cooled driver's seat, heated jump seat for this is just for training purposes, and then heated steering wheel as well. Just to keep the drivers really cool. Obviously it's quite a physical job, and just keeping them comfortable is really key to keeping it an enjoyable job. You're delivering a lot of fun for people, especially around holiday season. We've tried to make the exterior of the vehicle very friendly, very approachable, something for kids to look at. I remember when I was growing up, peering out the window at Christmas looking for the postman in the UK. So it's a similar kind of thought process. It's going to be driving around subdivisions and all day long, and just making it a really familiar, friendly face.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things that I really liked, we have the R1T, and we were looking at the blower design in the ventilated seat. There's a distinction between ventilated and cooled seats. So these are cooled seats,
correct,
piped from the air conditioning system. And as I say here, I mean, the blowers are very low, but you can see that the seat has, is cool. And sitting here, it's very cool. And so this is actually really amazing. I mean, you sit here and it's like ice cold, whereas even colder than a ventilated seat might feel. So I really love that. That's amazing. And of course, you've still got heated seat and heated jump seat. So that's something that I think is really really amazing. I've never sat in a actually cooled seat, so it's a really unique feeling. It's like, whoa, this is actually like chilled.
It's a really important feature. I mean, it's a warm day today. It's an active job. And just having that ability to just refresh, it's a unique selling point of the vehicle. We talked about the cameras when we're on the outside of the vehicle. There's a 360 display. We're on the fisheye lens for reversing. If you were to then press that same button I just pressed when you were going over 10 miles an hour, you just press on the cross and then jump in and out of it. Right. So if you were press that same button again when you were going forward, you'd get the planar lens rather than the fisheye lens.
Okay.
These lines obviously move with the steering wheel. Just a ton of helpful feature to help the drivers navigate. We talked around the exterior ultrasonics as well, so there's ultrasonics on the side, so there's a tendency for drivers to want to swing tighter than they should do, so that's what the ultrasonics on the side just help pick up bollards and pillars and things like that.
Yeah. Awesome. So in terms of architecture, again, these are coming straight out of R1T
The screens
development?
the screens are the same base screen with a different mounting system.
So is this rotated more than it is in R1T?
Yeah, R1 it's flat.
Yeah.
But of course, there's no permanent passenger in this vehicle, right? So you can be much more driver orientated. We've obviously focused on the ability to be able to swing your knee or your leg through that space, so it doesn't clutter that. As you take your hand off the steering wheel, your hand falls directly to the hazard switch, which is obviously, that gets used every time they stop as well.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, interesting.
So you're not fumbling around. It's not a little button. It's just nice big button you slap your hand on.
Awesome.
I think the other nice feature about the interior of the vehicle is just the size of the glazing. It's panoramic in its viewpoint, class-leading down vision and up vision angles. Yeah. Again, you're driving in unfamiliar surroundings, you're driving in subdivisions, you're looking for road signs, all those things that mean that you need a wide field of view.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, is this a driver-facing camera for driver attention?
Yes, that's for our part of our ADAS suite.
Okay, awesome.
I guess the other thing that we didn't look at, but just to be aware of, the other thing we've got is a powered bulkhead door. So on the other vans, they manually slide them, or it'll only automate one way.
Yeah.
So we just link the gear state, and the door closes and opens. Helps keep the cabin cool. You're not losing cool heat into the cargo area, but also just reduces. They don't have to stop and open the door.
Yeah. So that's this door here.
Yeah, just increases their efficiency.
Is automated.
Yeah.
So
look at that.
Awesome. So you're saying as you approach a stop, or as you're coming to a stop, and I'm getting up, it's going to automatically open.
Put it in park, and as you put it in park, you change gear state, the door opens.
Okay.
And then by the time you've taken your seatbelt off and turn around, the door's open, it's out of the way.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, in terms of this just front screen, is this software also? This is obviously integrated with the Amazon system for
Yeah,
for
so it's
delivery.
taking the last mile. So if we go back to this screen and exit out of there, it's taking the delivery information and it's putting it here. You'll remember on the R1 that the mapping is on the left tile in the driver display, so we've centralized it for this purpose. Because it's the bit that they're going to be looking at.
Yeah, and I see nice big text and everything.
Yeah.
I guess one other thing, so in terms of range, so I see 125 miles here and it's nearly full, so what is that? What's like the estimate there? And is it using the same battery architecture as R1? I think you mentioned it.
Uses the same battery, just with a different casing.
Okay.
We manage the range in software based around what Amazon need for their usage.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily what the vehicle can do, but it's what Amazon want to provide to their drivers.
Okay. And is that you're expecting Amazon to charge all at delivery centers?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of charging points out in this yard, and as they sort of populate their charging infrastructure across their sites, then we can follow very quickly with the vans in those regions.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's about everything. Do you want to jump in the back just
Perfect,
for a second?
yeah.
So now we're in the back of the van. Again, this is, you said 700 model, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, slightly bigger, slightly wider.
Yeah. So, what are some of the design features here that are slightly unique, or that you want to speak to?
Yeah. So this is a continuation of the driver's office. The way we've kind of designed the front of the vehicle, this is a continuation. So you're going to spend however long the shift might be for you in this vehicle. So it needs to be as comfortable as your office is at home or your office is at work. And this is no different. So we've got a lot of really high visibility lighting. The shelf spacing is designed around Amazon's delivery tote. So they use a canvas tote and put the packages aside. So we can triple stack and then run all the way back. The rear shelves on each side are folding. The shelving itself is lightweight magnesium extrusions, powder coated, so nice and stiff, nice and light. Could double as bunk beds if you wanted to. And then we've got cargo dolly and warning triangles and things like that. Other things that Amazon need in the back of the van.
Awesome. And then for this door, is that automated or?
It's not automated, but it's got an e-latch to release.
Okay. So they can release it from the front.
Yeah, and it's on the access, passive access and active access system, so you can lock and unlock the rear roller door.
Yeah.
The key feature on this obviously is the color.
Yeah.
It's super prime blue, and as a lot of the other sort of key touch points are around the vehicle, but it really stands out. These vehicles stop at the side of the road a lot. So making them highly visible is really important. That's why we did a lot of work on the rear lighting as well.
Yeah.
You'll see you do some shots on the back of the vehicle.
Yeah.
The lights are very visible, and you can spot these. I was going to say a mile away, but it's probably not far off.
Yeah.
At night.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss about interior, exterior, anything that I didn't touch on that you'd like to discuss for the viewers?
We've touched on a lot of things. I hope it's been useful. I hope you understand the similarities from a platform perspective between the R1 and the EDV, but then how we've really purposed to this unique use case.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the time.
Cool.
And yeah, great to meet you. Thanks so much. And thank you everyone for watching Monroe Live, and please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.